Amazon stock closed at 228.83 last week compared to my model predicting 235 as the highest strike price to be in the money. The model was too optimistic last week, but this is still good for covered call strategies. Last week generated low premiums, but I safely avoided assignment. Model was also too optimistic when it predicted a high in the money strike of 210 while the stock actually closed at 206. I only collected $8 in premium from Google since I sold the 212.5 strike. Before we get into this week's predictions, Nvidia is reporting earnings after market close Wednesday, and Nvidia trades at a significant premium compared to the overall market with a forward PE ratio of 40. The S&P trades at around 20, so twice as much compared to the overall market. Investors are paying $40 today for every dollar in Nvidia's expected. So investors have really high expectations set for Nvidia going into this earnings season. But simultaneously, this premium is rightfully rewarded because look at this quarterly revenue chart. The revenue climbs up and up and up. They 4x'd their quarterly revenue, in 2 years. But it's worth noting that the net income took a slide in April, going from 22 billion to 18 billion, mainly due to cost of goods sold increasing in that quarter. This COGS is linked to the 4.5 billion charge tied to excess H20 chips, inventory, and purchase obligations. Nvidia regained the ability to sell to China if they pay 15% of the revenue to the US government. It will be interesting to see how much of this 15% cut will eat into Nvidia's net income. Chip sales to China constitutes 13% of Nvidia's revenue stream, or equating to 17 billion. It's not the biggest piece of the pie, but still significant. This can eat into Nvidia's net income, which is used to calculate the earnings per share, which is then into the forward price to earnings, which could bring it down. This AI economy does not seem to be completely over, with Google, among other companies, investing heavily into cloud and AI infrastructure. Overall, I do believe Nvidia will beat the quarterly numbers, but the guidance is where the meat is, and I would not be surprised if the market doesn't know how to react to the results. Nvidia would have to up their guidance and narrate a story that reads, "The AI economy is just getting started." Of course, this is just my personal opinion and not financial advice. Now let's get into this week's predictions. This machine learning model takes historic price action data and tries to predict the new week's strike prices. The benefit of this model is to sell covered calls for strikes where the model predicts out of the money. Not only is Nvidia releasing earnings, we also have a big economic data week. On Thursday, initial jobless claims come out. This will give us a pulse on the health of the economy. If people do not have money to spend, then our stocks will ultimately go down because they would not generate revenue. GDP first revisions also happens on Thursday, along with pending home sales. Friday, personal income and spend data, along with PCE, are released. Chipotle is a recent position in my personal portfolio. I believe there's a potential for $52 price for Chipotle using mean reversion and some revenue statistics. Check out that video in the top right. Google has been a phenomenal stock in my personal investment journey. Google, there was a video about that one on the channel since May 12th, and it has gone up 30% since that video came out. Check out that video in the top right as well.